If your life were a book and you were the author, how would you want the story to go? That's the question that changed my life forever. Growing up in the hot Las Vegas desert, all I wanted was to be free. I could daydream about traveling around the world, living in a place where it snowed, and I could picture all the stories that I would want to go on to tell. At the age of 18, the day after I graduated high school, I moved to a place where it snowed and I became a massage therapist. With this job, all I needed were my hands and my massage table by my side, and I could go anywhere. For the first time in life, I felt free, independent, and completely in control of my life. That is, until my life took a detour. I went home from work early one day with what I thought was the flu, and less than 24 hours later, I was in a hospital on life support with less than 2% chance of living. It wasn't until days later, as I lay in a coma, that the doctors diagnosed me with bacterial meningitis, a vaccine-preventable blood infection. Over the course of 2.5 months, I lost my spleen, my kidneys, the hearing in my left ear, and both of my legs below the knee. When my parents wheeled me out of the hospital, I felt like I had been pieced back together like a patchwork door. I thought the worst were over until weeks later when I saw my new legs for the first time. The calves were a bulky block of metal with pipes bolted together for the ankles, and a yellow rubber foot with a raised rubber line from the toe to the ankle to look like a vein. I didn't know what to expect, but I wasn't expecting that. With my mom by my side and tears streaming down our faces, I strapped on the chunky legs and I stood up. They were so painful and so confining that all I could think was, how am I ever going to travel the world in these things? How was I ever going to live the life full of adventure and stories as I always wanted? And how was I going to snowboard again? That day, I went home. I crawled into bed, and it was what my life looked like for the next few months. Me passed out, escaping from reality with my legs resting by my side. I was absolutely physically and emotionally broken. But I knew that in order to move forward, I had to let go of an old Amy and learn to embrace the new Amy. And that is when it dawned on me that I didn't have to be a 5'5" anymore. I could be as tall as I wanted, or as short as I wanted, depending on who I was dating. And if I snowboarded again, my feet aren't going to get cold. And best of all, I thought, I can make my feet the size of all the shoes that are on the sales rack. And I did. So there were benefits here. It was this moment that I asked myself that life-defining question. If my life were a book and I were the author, how would I want the story to go? And I began to daydream. A daydream like I did as a little girl, and imagined myself walking gracefully, helping other people through my journey, and snowboarding again. And I didn't just see myself carving down a mountain of powder, I could actually feel it. I could feel the wind against my face and the beat of my racing heart as if it was happening in that very moment. And that's when a new chapter in life began.